So the train went express from Atlantic Avenue. Then, so this is what they're doing. I've been trying to use the bathroom and a library and stuff. And the train's supposed to stop at J Street because the How train is going express. And this one also, the Minico Express. This and the How train is going local. Earlier I took I got off the F and I couldn't find the How train to take me down to Bay Ridge. So I took this end, another end, to 42nd earlier. So I was hoping, this end train will stop at J Street because I need to go there to use the bathroom. And then they ran this end express instead. They were running it local early in the morning, this morning and afternoon. All of a sudden, anytime I try to use the bathroom like that, they stop taking, missing my stuff. So they said that this are the abusing immigrants in the prison also. They arrest me in the bathrooms. They say in the immigration prison also, they don't let the immigrants use the bathroom. They would have assigned one bathroom to 50 immigrants. One toilet to 50 immigrants, and they wouldn't have enough time to use the bathroom either. So this is what is going on. So they're making me, just go around in a circle. And they did this to me in 2019, close to 2020. They filled up my hotel room with human excrement, and I started coughing and sneezing. Soon after that, the whole world started coughing and sneezing, and they declared there was a COVID in town. I had to flee from Atlantic City to come back to New York. So they've been torturing me. There was a black American helping me. They choked him dead, Eric Garner. It was helping me coughing because the police had taken my home in 2010, and I was suing the police in court. By 2014, I met this Eric Garner and said it was going to. Within a number of weeks after I met him, they choked him dead. My mother's been killed also. My mother said drugs were part of a narcotic gang. My mother said the strange thing she noticed was drugs were trying to kill her. As me and my mother was suing the police, drugs live in Pennsylvania, didn't live with us in Pennsylvania, in New York City, Staten Island, when the police came to take our home. So anytime I try to use the bathroom at 14th Street, the police, they have a police person there, they will be harassing me, won't let me be able to use the bathroom. So and there are people that are telling me you're going to be arrested, you're going to be killed. Even I'm on websites and having people make fun, making all kinds of suggestive, suggestive comments. Even one guy said, bumps in his chest. As they're threatening me with COVID, with tasering me, any bathroom I go to, they'll surround it with the police. And one guy was posting a video online. I follow his account on Instagram. I can't remember his name right now. Yeah, his name is Burn or... yeah, he has a very terroristic appearance. Burn or... on Instagram, and my storage unit was also burned down. I rented a place after the police took my home, and I was keeping evidence I was going to use to sue the immigration because they arrested me when I was a child. Even though I had a visa, my mother brought me from Nigeria, she had a green card and a visa. And they arrested my JFK said they don't allow children of permanent resident. And they took my visa away and lied to the judge that I didn't have a visa. So the case lasted 8 years. I was in immigration prison. So when I came out of immigration prison, I was going to sue the the immigration. So the police came and kicked me out of me at my home on Staten Island. So I rented a place where I put my evidence, and they burnt the whole place down and stole my visa, passport. And soon after, the guy that was going to be helping me regarding they killed them near that place. I rented a place on 219 Canal Street, Staten Island. A few blocks from there. And Rugana was helping me with the court papers and stuff. I was suing the police. They choked him dead. And then this guy is a black American, he's gay, I'm also gay, I was born a male, I'm not a woman. So his name is Burn, I can't remember his name online, but it has to do with the word burn, and it was saying watch out for bumps on your chest. Anytime I go to the bathroom, they'll surround me with the police, arrest me, or, arrest me. So they said this is what they do. They start a fight with you and taser you to death. So they're killing immigrants. They filled up my room with excrement. I used to go rent a hotel room in New Jersey, Atlantic City. I would pay like $200 a week. So I could take a shower, and one day I fell asleep in my hotel room. I woke up, the whole room was filled with excrement. I was recording everything, and I started coughing and sneezing. And soon after that, COVID broke out in the world. I had a very unusual cough, unusual fever. I was telling people on the train, I said, please, they just filled up my room with excrement. I'm sorry for the way I smell. I have fever. Just run away from me. And soon after that, COVID broke out in the world. So I'm under the FBI surveillance. Since I came here with my mother in 2000, they put the FBI surveillance on me. So, and I recorded the whole room being filled with excrement. So in case I'm killed or die, please request all my files from the FBI. And please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. While I'm alive, I'm trying to sue the FBI to release all my videos of my room being filled with excrement. And I want to hire doctors to test me to see if that COVID started from me. They said worldwide 20 million people have died from COVID. So in case I'm deported, I would like to go to doctors overseas also to test me to see if that COVID started from me. And this country has to pay for the 20 million people that died worldwide from COVID. Enough of this country being able to get away. And now they're banning people. They said the whole world is terrorist. This Trump is claiming the whole world is terrorist in front of the whole world. And this is the country committing terrorism, killing people. And it's laughing at the face of the world. They're so scared. Everybody in the world is terrorist. Is afraid of the world. Everybody in the world is a drug user. And they're the ones killing us foreigners. And they're making fun of the whole world, and the whole world doesn't even know that they're the butt of joke of the white racists that run this country. They infected me with COVID or something. They filled my room up with excrement. Atlantic City around close to December 2019. I was sleeping. I had a green card. I always criticize this Trump. And I go back to my hotel room in Atlantic City, and I notice this Trump also, anytime I go to my hotel room in Atlantic City, he also would leave the White House. I said he's going to his hotel in Atlantic City. Like he was making fun of me. He has a hotel in Atlantic City or somewhere in New Jersey. So I was like, okay, why is this guy following me around? If I come to New York, he also will come to New York. All of a sudden, I went back to my hotel in Atlantic City, and I woke up, my whole room was filled with human excrement in 2019. And I was coughing and sneezing. I ran back to New York, and I was telling people I'm so sorry for the way I smell. They filled up my room with excrement in Atlantic City. And nobody really paid me any attention, And soon COVID started. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. And now they're travel banning the whole world. Said the black and brown people are evil. This country is afraid of them. Why? But this country is sponsoring terrorism. My friend, a black American, helped me with 4 papers. They choked him dead. My mother's been killed herself. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. They deny me access to the bathroom, surrounding me with the police by trying to use the bathroom. So they have a police precinct here. Anytime I go to the bathroom, they surround me with the police. So please, I have no choice than to try to use the bathroom. I don't want to mess up my parents. I don't want to cause another cholera outbreak. They said in Europe, when people didn't have access to bathrooms, and they called it the Dark Ages, they weren't so civilized. People just used the bathroom anywhere. There was infection of cholera that killed almost 10 million people. So it's like they want me to have a cholera and spread it, so they always deny me access to the bathroom. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless so I can rent a hotel. All the lawyers here don't want to take my case. It's like they're covering up for their police, and they don't want this country to pay lawsuit money. They love us waste my time, so they're not interested in my game. So they love them are playing games when they help this country come around. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. And on Friday, the police told me they're going to continue harming me. And luckily for my phone was recording what they were saying. My phone was turned on. So I recorded their faces. And later that day on Friday, by Saturday morning, I was on the 2 train. I had to stop the train at 3 a.m. It was an outside train in the Bronx. Because in the Bronx, the train is not underground. It's mostly outside. And they said a guy was sitting in the train track in the cold. I'm like, who would be sitting in the train track in the cold if they were trying to be suicidal? People that want to commit suicide don't want to die the most painful death. They look for the easiest way to die. I said, why would the person come inside here in a station like this to sit in train? Why would they go and sit in a raised, elevated train rail. That's the worst way to die. And they would just find an excuse to get the police to arrest. So they told me, you have to leave the train, and carry your bags downstairs. And I'm like, I need a train station has an elevator. This bag is too heavy. And they brought the police, you have to carry your stuff. And sometimes when I'm carrying my stuff, I will fall down the train track, the train staircase, So a black American guy is a Jamaican actually. But was born in America. Said it was going to help me, and he was drunk, and he was staggering, and he almost collapsed on me, So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless. I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws, and I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws and relevant laws and U.S. Constitution. I'm not looking for marriage partner. I'm not looking for romance. I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm just looking for donation to my Cash App NYC Homeless or swimming person. I'm trying to get a lawyer. I'm trying to get justice. So there's been all kinds of scammers that are trying to lure me into marriage or surrogacy, So please, I'm not looking for surrogacy or marriage. I know you scammers, stay away from it. I don't even care if you have a good intention. I'm just not looking for marriage or surrogacy or being a member of any gang. Sometimes when they kill you, people come out and claim you're part of a gang and you have to authorize them to inherit all your money. I'm not part of any gang. In case I'm killed, only civil activists like me should administer my state and get justice for me and my late mother and donate the rest of my state to charity, to those services to the people like me and my late mother. And people being deported by Trump should prioritize for assistance. No family member or friend should get anything from my state or should be near my body, in case I'm killed. I don't want any charge to be created for me. So my mother's address, I'm moving with a narcotic gang in America, and the one in Nigeria was moving with a killer gang. And my mother said they were trying to kill her. As my mother was suing the NYPD. So apparently they were even using family members. And my mother said that one of the girls was giving her cancer-free poison of food, which was triggering my mother to have a heart attack after my mother fled from New York to Pennsylvania to live with her daughter apparently. Because, the police took her home, and the guy that was helping us with the company was Arizona. They choked him dead, and my mother said they were harassing her everywhere, like they're harassing me right now. Back then also harassing me. So my mother fled back to her daughter's in Pennsylvania. I said the daughter was moving in an aquatic gang, and he wanted to kill my mother, I guess to suppress any witness for that Eric Garner, because my mother knows that Eric Garner, I knew him also. And my mother was saying his death is strange. She was very suspicious that this police did it intentionally. Me and my mother was talking about the Eric Garner's case, and all of a sudden my mother's address in Pittsburgh were trying to kill her. So they were moving with a narcotic gang. And soon they poisoned my mother, and my mother fled back to New York and had to go to the hospital here for her to treat the heart problem she was having. It was triggered by the poison. The doctors must have given her cancer-free poison. They said that always triggers people to have heart attack symptoms. And my mother was trying to get better. All of a sudden the door showed up. Without my mother telling her what hospital she was in. And they told the hospital to lock my mother. And they said they discarded my mother from me. So the dress search started a ruse to get the hospital to remove my mother from the ICU, remove the breathing tube. I go lock my mother up in the mental ward. On the way to mental ward, they said my mother died. Because my mother needed to be in ICU because the poison they had given my mother, her daughters in Pennsylvania, was giving my mother breathing trouble. So they started a ruse to disconnect my mother from the ventilator and take her to the psych ward, and said she collapsed on the way to the psych ward. As if my mother wasn't crazy. They were framing her as crazy, so I don't know, why they use the family member. My mother's address would always troll her, and she was trying to get her excited so that she can die. And there have been so many songs being sung about it. Before that, also a Nigerian footballer, Rashidi Yekini, his family, they said people are alleging his family framed him as crazy just to get his inheritance money. And me and my mother used to live in Nevada, and they said they killed him in Nevada like that. So my mother was saying she was very worried. After that, Rashidi Yekini was killed, she was very worried. Her daughters may try to kill her like that, Rashidi Yekini, whereby his family member locked him up in a mental institution. He was a rich Nigerian soccer player, and he came back from Europe, and his family, and people were alleging his family was just trying to get his money, and they were just, exaggerating his mental issues or whatever. So my mother was saying she was very worried about that. Me and my mother talking about that Rashidi Yekini, and she was very worried. She told me she was very worried. Addressed me to the same thing to her, and surely they did. They did it to me also in 2001. Framed me up as crazy as my mother. My mother was part of that plan. Because my mother was tired of taking care of me. Because the person arrested me. So she tricked me to come with her to Pennsylvania. I didn't want to go. She took me to go to somebody said. And when we got there, one of the others hit me with a car. And the other driver called the police officer was crazy. And said I had a weapon. And they went and locked me up in the mental ward, Mercy Hospital, psychiatric hospital. I had to tell the hospital, look, I have an immigration case in New York. And this is why my mother brought me here to abandon me in Pennsylvania because she was tired of taking care of me in New York. And the hospital didn't believe me. I had to call my immigration lawyer in New York, Ralph DiPietro, and spoke with the hospital in 2001. And the hospital apologized to them that my mother and daughters were lying to them that I didn't have an immigration case. I was just crazy, imagine. So my mother did the same thing to me in 2001, and the hospital didn't arrest her and the daughters. And 14 years later, 2015, the daughters came to New York, did the same thing to her and killed her. So they say, this is what the society here, they don't value immigrant life, and they allow immigrants and blacks to kill each other. So please, and the police also joining in, because once they can frame you as crazy in this country, they can kill you and get away with it, and they believe they'll have support from my mother's daughters. So anytime I try to use the bathroom, they will surround me with their police, deny me access to the bathroom. So this was going on. So please don't my cash about my so much, or to me person. So sometimes they'll bring a metal pole. They have the black American anytime I use the bathroom. They'll come with a metal pole. So get out, get out. I'm looking at me, get out.